Humans aren't born out of laying around on their asses. We're the dominant species. We built all this. We're powerful, and we're beautiful, and we're ready to build the next level of civilization in God's plan. If you love God and you want to build a pro-human future, you must become the victor. But you have to believe in yourself first. This is the truth, and everyone knows it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, myself and other people had talked about how they thought Avowed wasn't going to do particularly well. You have the racist art director who went out there on a spree and basically damaged this game's PR. But even I couldn't have predicted that this game would do as poorly as it did. And if we take a look at the Steam numbers, and by the way, this isn't the early access, the game is actually released. Right now there's about 10,000 people playing the game, which some people are making the cope and saying, well, I mean, come on, it's not The Weekend. Well, that shouldn't really make a difference. If a game is super, super popular, if a game is massively successful, people are going to jump in and play it. But we're gonna save that for a different video, because the gaming press is trying to gaslight people into saying that this game is a massive success, which is hilarious and also extremely pathetic. No, what we're going to focus on today is people have gone out there and they've done a juxtaposition, they've done a comparison between Avowed and Oblivion. They also did Skyrim, but we're going to do Oblivion because Skyrim is too unfair. That's right. The game from 2011 is too unfair to compare to this game. We have to go back to 2006. And here's the thing that's going to blow your mind. Spoiler alert. Oblivion outclasses Avowed in nearly every way. It's honestly shocking. When you see a juxtaposition between these two games, it's impossible not to notice the de-evolution in gaming. And this is something that I've talked about for a long time. There are people that are oblivious, that don't see the downgrade in our entertainment. They don't pay attention to it, they don't understand it. They just want product and then they want to consume the next product. But people like me are hyper aware of the fact that in the past, our entertainment was so much better. There was so much more quality, attention to detail. There was so much more bang for your buck. These people in the media today are actually saying that it would be a good thing to raise the price of games to $100. I would say the opposite. I would say you need to start lowering the price of games because they're so incompetently done. Now, of course, there are exceptions. There are exceptions. There are games that come along like Elden Ring. And Elden Ring is absolutely phenomenal. There are games that come along that deserve to be at a higher price bracket. I bet that when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out, despite the fact that I think that a lot of it is going to be a downgrade from GTA 5, that's just my theory, I think that people are going to be willing to pay more for it because of the goodwill of the prior games. And I do think that there will be a lot in GTA 6. It will be a big world and people will get their money's worth. But when it comes to Avowed, this is not some indie studio. This is a game studio that's been around for many, many years. And unfortunately, what we see is a lot of these studios that have been around for a long time, they've been infiltrated by mentally inferior woke freaks that are not anywhere near as talented as the people that came before. I think that at these studios, just my personal opinion, I think that at a lot of these studios, I think that there is a change in the culture. I think there's a change in the atmosphere around these places. Some people may disagree with this, but I think that they've brought in a lot of women and more Karen type personalities, more of the HR type people who are going to scream about every little injustice or microaggression. I think that these companies have changed from pretty much outsider neckbeards to a bunch of Karens. And I think it's become a Karen culture in the gaming landscape, and I think that's why we've seen the de-evolution of these games. The people who would make these games good, they want nothing to do with this Karen culture, so they've noped out. That's my theory on it. Because when you actually start taking a look, at the attention to detail, it's shocking. It's shocking that these studios were around at the same time. And you look at this is a 2006 game. So we shot the arrows up and the arrows came down. Now this is Avowed. Yeah. Pretty much speaks for itself. Now, I know that some people will cope and say this doesn't matter. That doesn't really matter. But it does. It does matter. I'm not saying that this makes the game a 2 out of 10, but it's a series of decisions made by these people that ultimately downgrades and devalues the entire experience. So this video goes through and shows you some of the stuff that you could do in Oblivion. This isn't Skyrim, by the way. Skyrim was 5 years later. But they're showing that in Oblivion, you could knock stuff around the table. You could mess with assets. And in this game, Avowed, it's basically just a static image, basically, it's just a static image. You can't interact with it. You can't mess with it. Look at that. Now, I'm not saying that you have to copy Oblivion, but this feels cheap. And when you see it side by side, it's so stark, the contrast of what you used to be able to do when you had a bunch of people who gave a shit, who cared about what they were doing, versus these freaks that are in there today that are more interested in pronouns and, I'm a he, they, or, I'm a she, they, I'm a she, them. Let me she them titties. It's like, this is in 2006. The guard comes out and he kills 2 bandits. Now look at this. This is Avowed. The guards do nothing. This is pathetic. This is genuinely pathetic. And so it's not just the arrows. It's not just this. It's everything. These games feel cheaper. These games feel lazier. These games feel more incompetently done. And this is the entire point. These people within the gaming industry want to pat themselves on the back and say, we're the most enlightened, we're the most intelligent, we're the most articulate, reasonable. They think that they are the cat's meow. And I'm here to tell you, you're not the cat's meow, you're cat shit. You're garbage. And you deserve to be laid off. You deserve to lose your job. Because you're not competent or qualified. You're more interested in Twitter likes than you are about creating new and engaging ways to interact with your world. This is pathetic. In 2006, guards would be rushing up to attack that person. And in this game, you can't touch the guards. The guards don't care. It is a stagnant experience. We have devolved. And I think it's true. A lot of people said, well, some of the more creative elements of gaming have been lost. And at first when you hear that, you go, well, that can't be true. But then you see it. You see it in real time. And it's hard to ignore. And it's what we've been talking about for a long time. And there have been so many freaks and degenerates and ass-sucking backbenchers like Moist Critical and the Act Man and so many others that are in the gaming space. They don't talk about stuff like this. They ignore it because they have sponsors. They don't want to get in the bad graces of these studios. And so they tend to be more muted with their criticism. They don't mention wokeness or identity politics. They don't mention some of the major problems. And look at this. So this guy is shooting a barrel, and it's in a juxtaposition to Oblivion. In Oblivion, you could stick the barrel with a bunch of arrows, but you could see in Avowed, as you keep shooting arrows into it, they start disappearing. And in Avowed, oh, look at this. This is a great one. It doesn't even reach the wall. I mean, is that not just pathetic? Is that not shockingly pathetic? That to me says everything you need to know about the company. This has been out since 2006. There has been this blueprint out there forever. And yet still they can't figure it out. That tells me that there is a deep and fundamental problem. And so I have other videos to do on Avowed about how the media is glazing this game. How the media is saying this game is phenomenal, this game is brilliant. They're using the same language that they used with Veilguard. It's a return to form. This game is the #1 seller on Steam. Trying to imply that this game outsold Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. It's shocking how brazen these people are. With their dishonesty, with their rhetoric. I mean, there's no comparison between this game and Oblivion. And Avowed came out 2 days ago. How on earth could you release a game in that state and feel confident, and then on top of that, have pronouns and other LGBTQ woke elements in the game? There is not a chance in hell that any person should be thinking about LGBTQ or pronouns or DEI or ESG at all when your game is this inferior to a game from 2006. 19 years. And this is really the best you can do. 19 years. It's shocking. It really is shocking. And you think I'm going to pay more money? You think I'm going to pay $100 for these games? You're out of your mind. Here's what I'm hoping. And I know this may seem harsh to some people. I hope the gaming industry crashes in the West. I hope all of the bad decisions and the doubling and tripling and quadrupling down comes home to roost, and these freaks, these obnoxious, arrogant, degenerate, low IQ, bottom-feeding freaks come to face the consequences of their own actions. Because even before 2013, people in the gaming community have been begging these industry leaders and elites to listen. They've been begging them to listen. Hey, the Mass Effect 3 ending was absolutely terrible. We're giving you another chance to make a really, really good ending. No, this is our artistic integrity. You all are just hateful. You're bigots. Gamergate was an opportunity for the industry to shed some of their more toxic woke elements and actually make a product that the consumers would want. It was met with the most vitriolic, hateful rhetoric anyone has ever seen. You in the gaming industry have been given chance after chance after chance after chance after chance to change, adapt, and evolve. And at every step of the way, you've attacked gamers, you belittled them, you said that they deserve less, you've made fun of their politics, you made fun of their outlook on life. And here's the deal. You have also at the same time devolved your games, made shit like this, and then lied about it. The gaming press lied about Dragon Age the Veilguard. They lied about it. 9s and 10s out of 10s. But when the game actually came out, and they realized that they weren't going to be able to scam you, steal money from you by lying to you, they all came out and basically revised their statements. Oh, well, a return to form for BioWare. Maybe this game really wasn't the return to form for BioWare. These people need to be punished. These people need to suffer. I agree with Asmongold. They need to suffer 100%. And unfortunately, what I think is going to happen is more and more people are going to pay attention to differences like this. They're not going to be satisfied, because why should they? They're paying more money than ever. These studios are demanding that you pay more money than ever and giving you an inferior product. And this, by the way, this is what he's going over right here. The NPCs in Avowed, they're moving their hands like they're talking, but they're not actually talking. That is pathetic. There's no words being said. And then he juxtaposes it to Oblivion, where the NPCs actually talk to each other. They actually live out their lives. They have a conversation.
Hello.
What's going on with you?
They say syndicates of wizards have led a boycott of imperial goods in the land of the Ultima.
There's absolutely no excuse for this. And by the way, I saw Asmongold do a video on this. I watched part of it. And Asmongold had apparently given the game a 7 out of 10. And his audience, and this was the best part, his audience was roasting him as he watched this video. I mean, in his chat, people were spamming 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10, 7 out of 10, huh? And it was hilarious because Asmon was realizing, oh my God. And by the way, Asmon can give the game whatever he wants. I think that it's perfectly fair that if he had fun, he gave Veilguard a 6 out of 10, which I thought was, I mean, holy shit. Veilguard was a 2 out of 10, and that's being generous. This game appears to be about the same. I would say I haven't played it, and I'm not going to play it, but this game appears to be about a 2 out of 10. Lack of attention to detail. There's no real improvement that we can see. And people are also pointing out the fire mechanics of the spells and stuff looks so much worse. The interactivity is so much worse with the world. I mean, it's like Breath of the Wild had better fire mechanics. And this is just shocking to me. This is just shocking. There's more attention to detail and more interactivity in these games. And it's because these studios have hired these incompetent, narcissistic, woke freaks. I know that a lot of people, they say, well, there's some devs that are just doing their job. I don't think that's true. I think that the devs that have been hired by these woke activists, I think these people have hired inferior content creators. I think they've hired people that are not up to par in any way. And honestly, I think the reason that they have is because they have the right politics, but I also think it's because if you brought in somebody that's super talented and they're surrounded by these woke, degenerate, subhuman freaks, these bottom-feeding, narcissistic, attention-starved losers, I think it would cause an issue. Because if one person is so much more talented than all the other people, they would say, oh, you're making us look bad. I think that there is a systemic problem with the gaming industry. I think they have a bunch of fundamental flaws. And I don't think that they're going to fix them. I don't. I think these Western studios, I think they're going to continue to double down. Because there's no excuse for this. And you may say, well, these are just a couple, nitpicky things. No, these are the lifeblood of the game. These are the lifeblood of the experience. All the different things in Skyrim, all the little details that you can explore, that adds to the entire game. The game is not just the aesthetics. The game isn't just the combat. The game is the aesthetics and the combat and the characters, the spells, the powers, and it's also the little details, the things that you can find, like the little lock-picking game and stuff like that. I'm not saying that lock-picking game is the best thing I've ever played. But for example, what he's showing here is that in Oblivion in 2006, you could go into nearly every place. And in Avowed, you can't go into nearly anywhere. All the doors are locked off to you. Do you start to see what I'm talking about? Do you start to see the issue? Does it start to make sense a little bit? I think that it's perfectly clear that these current game devs don't have a clue what they're doing. I think they've been filled with activists. I think they've been filled with people that are malicious, degenerate scum. They don't really have a passion for gaming or game design. They don't really care about the game. They don't really care about the project. They don't really care about what they're doing. They're just more interested in getting the job done and getting a paycheck. That's what I think. Because back then, you had people that actually gave a damn. That actually genuinely cared about making good games. Making great games. And today it's about pronouns. You mean to tell me that you had time to think about putting pronouns in the game and putting in LGBTQ elements, but you couldn't do the bare minimum that was done in 2006. 2006. And we're not even going to watch the comparison to Skyrim because it's too unfair. There's no point in watching that video. Because Skyrim is an upgrade in many ways to Oblivion. My point in doing this video, my point in making this content is the media is lying to you. And I have an entire other video that I need to do about that because the media is gaslighting people again. But I sit here as somebody who has enjoyed these games of the past, somebody who has enjoyed media from the past, and it appears that I'm one of the few people who still remember what good gaming used to be, what good entertainment used to be, and I'm not satisfied with accepting the slop. And guess what? Here's the crazy thing. There are more of me than there are of these people, these modern audience types. They just want to digest the slop. More and more people are paying attention to this. They're becoming aware of it. They're realizing that these companies are charging more and more and more and giving them less and less and less. I don't know what kind of inflation you want to talk about. If this is DEI inflation. But the fact of the matter is, we're getting inferior products. How on earth do you take the mechanics of Black Flag if you're Ubisoft? How do you take the pirate mechanics of Black Flag and fuck them up to such an unreasonable degree that you get a game like Skull and Bones? There is a de-evolution that we're witnessing in real time. There is a brain rot, a brain drain. And some people have been infected. But then there are people like me and there are people like you that pay attention to this stuff, that actually give a damn, that say, no, this isn't good enough. This is pathetic. And the thing that is so much more insulting is that not only are we seeing a de-evolution, not only are the games getting worse, not only is the attention to detail so much below par as compared to what it was, but then they're adding in the DEI pig slop. The terrible writing. It used to be, and I've explained this, because people have said, well, did you not play Dragon Age Origins? They had LGBTQ. In Dragon Age Origins, LGBTQ was as it should be, unseen. There was a single character, I believe, that you could romance who was gay. It was an elf guy. You could actually kill that character before you actually got to meet them, if I remember correctly. That character tries to, I think he tries to ambush you, and you have the opportunity to kill them right there, or you can talk them out and recruit them. But if you recruit them and you're a guy, then yeah, you could have a romance with him. He's a very promiscuous elf. But it was something that was more like an unlock. If you really wanted to work at it, you could unlock it, which I used to think was fine. I used to think, okay, that's fine. But now it's the norm. And in fact, you're punished if you don't take an LGBTQ option. And all the colors of Avowed and all the pronouns in the bio, it's all virtue signaling. Because these companies have been filled up with freaks. Mentally ill, inferior freaks that have worked tirelessly to degrade the industry because they think that you and I are all toxic and problematic, and they think it is their mission from their God. And their God is not my God. Their God is narcissism, self-worship, gluttony, delusion, anger, violence. They worship basically the 7 deadly sins. And so they come into this and they say, it's my opportunity, it's my job to educate these people, to re-educate them, and I'm going to do it through their favorite media. What they don't understand is, these people are so mentally retarded, so low IQ, they actually think, like for example, the people who listen to this video, they think that I influence you. That's what they think. They think you are so mentally malleable. They think you are so mentally retarded that it's actually me that's influencing you. Or Asmongold or these other people. They think that it's them that sets the tone. What they don't realize is that the whole thing here is that you people listen to my voice and you go, oh, I agree with that. Or some people may say I disagree. But a majority of people will agree with this video. I can guarantee it. So it's not that I'm impressioning you. It's that you have your own thoughts. You understand the problem. You see it for yourself. And then you hear somebody saying, I also recognize the problem. See, they don't understand the dynamic between a content creator like me and my audience. They don't understand content creators like Joe Rogan or Asmongold. They don't get it. They don't understand that Asmongold could say something like, for example, Avowed is a 7 out of 10. The moment that he said that, his audience didn't go, wow, I didn't think of it that way. No, his audience, I mean, it was brutal. His audience was making fun of him for like 30 minutes, if not more. Like, a 7 out of 10 game, huh? Like, they were, throughout that entire video where he reacted, they were, I mean, it was brutal. It was brutal, and it was hilarious. It was hilarious. I don't know if Asmongold does that on purpose to get that kind of reaction, because it was genuinely funny. Where every time something went wrong, they're like, 7 out of 10. So, and you can see Asmon, he's just like, oh my God. You know, just realizing, like, the game is not anywhere near a 7 out of 10. And his audience did not forgive him for that. I mean, that was really funny. So my point here, my point in all this, is to highlight the fact that these games are getting worse. And getting progressively worse, and you're being lied to and told, no, it's not real. It's in your head. You have no room to talk. And then when you do voice your opinion, it's, well, he just listens to Tactical Templar. And that's why. That's why he believes what he believes. It's not that he came to the decision on his own and then listened to somebody and then agreed with them. No, it's that you were... I molded your mind. That's what they believe, which is insane. It is actually insane to think that. But that's what they do, and that's how they behave, so they assume that you're the same. When the opposite is the truth. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for today's video. Avowed is, from everything that I've seen, a downgrade in every form. Now, it could be true that there are elements of the game, since I haven't played it, that are decently good. I don't know, I've not seen it. If it were a massive upgrade, I imagine more people would be playing it. Like, the numbers for the game, do I need to go back? Like, right, I want to refresh right now before we go. Right now, and I just refreshed this, there's 11,000 people playing a game that was literally just released. And I know that people will cope, and they'll say, well, it's the middle of a workday. Do you think that Grand Theft Auto 6, or, you know, maybe that's an unfair comparison, but do you think that a game that actually was really good, really anticipated, really excited, do you think people would give a shit if it's the weekend, or if it's, oh, well, it didn't come out on Friday, so no. The numbers would be much, much, much higher, and you know that, and I know that. Everyone knows that. Everyone's aware of that. But while I'm here, I want to see, I just want to see for my own edification. I want to see, oh, I was going to try to make a point, but turns out that it, yeah. Well, yeah. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it. Oh, man. Less than 3,000 24-hour peak. When will these freaks learn? When will these narcissistic, degenerate, Trump-deranged, leftoid freaks learn that everyone hates them, their work is inferior, and they should just get the hell out of every industry that they're in? When will they figure it out? I don't know. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.